Hello and welcome to Healthy Aging Blueprint. I'm truly grateful you're here. On this channel, we explore simple, powerful ways to care for your body, nurture your mind, and live with purpose at every stage of life. Wherever you're watching from, I wish you good health, peace, and lasting happiness. If you find value in today's video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a step on your journey to aging well. Have you ever met a woman over 70 who just seems to glow with energy, peace, and joy, and wondered, what's her secret? Is it genetics, a special diet, or something else entirely? What if the real answer lies in a few small habits, repeated with quiet power, day after day? In this video, we're diving into the 12 daily habits of truly happy women over 70, habits rooted in wisdom, psychology, and simple beauty. These aren't grand, complicated routines. They're intentional, mindful choices that make a world of difference. And the best part? You can start practicing them today. You'll want to watch until the end, because these daily habits aren't just for women over 70. They're timeless principles that can elevate your life, no matter your age. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, these habits can help you wake up feeling grounded and go to bed feeling truly grateful. Before we begin, I'd be grateful if you could like this video. It helps me continue sharing the valuable lessons that come with age. And if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming videos filled with insights, inspiration, and practical guidance. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments to let me know. If not, feel free to type 0. Your feedback helps me improve and create even better content for you. Now let's get started with habit 1, a beautiful way that happy women over 70 begin their day. They start each morning with a purposeful ritual. These women don't rush into the chaos of the day. They resist the urge to grab their phones, scroll through endless notifications, or immediately tackle chores. Instead, they begin with intention. It might be a few quiet minutes with a cup of tea, a short prayer, a gentle stretch, or mindful breathing. This sacred pause creates space for peace, setting the tone for a more centered, joyful day. This morning ritual isn't about chasing perfection or following some rigid, influencer-approved routine that starts at 5 a.m. with a checklist of productivity tasks. It's not about hustle culture or trying to keep up with someone else's pace. Instead, it's about creating a gentle, personal moment that reconnects them with their own energy, their presence, and the quiet blessing of a new day. For some women, it's as simple and sacred as pulling back the blinds and letting the soft morning light pour in. They might stretch slowly, arms reaching up as if to greet the sky, then whisper a brief prayer of gratitude. Thank you, Lord, for one more sunrise. Guide me to carry this day with grace. Others might sit with a pen in hand, jotting down 3 gentle intentions in their journal. Not goals for performance, but small, life-affirming reminders. Be kind to myself. Call a friend. Enjoy a moment of stillness. And on the quietest of mornings, some may simply cradle a warm cup of tea or coffee and sit in stillness. The sounds of birdsong, the rustle of leaves, or the soft hum of the world waking up become the day's first symphony. One that needs no words, only presence. What makes this habit truly powerful is its simplicity and adaptability. It's not the complexity that matters. It's the act of pausing, of checking in with the self before facing the world. Why is that so meaningful, especially at this stage in life? Because how we begin the day sets the emotional tone for everything that follows. Psychologists have long confirmed this. A consistent morning ritual can reduce stress, improve mood, and increase our sense of emotional control. And for women over 70, when physical energy may ebb and flow, and daily routines can feel uncertain or even unpredictable, this quiet practice becomes more than a habit. It becomes an anchor. It's a way of reclaiming the moment, of affirming, This is my day, and I choose how I step into it. For those navigating slower mornings, occasional stiffness, or the quiet challenges of aging, this ritual offers something precious. A moment of peace, a breath of clarity, and a spark of empowerment. If you find yourself waking up feeling scattered, heavy with the weight of the news, or simply uninspired, the key is to begin small. You don't need a perfect plan or a polished morning routine. Just light a candle, take a few slow, steady breaths, and stretch gently, even if it's just lifting your arms above your head or softly rolling your shoulders. These simple movements, paired with a quiet word of gratitude or a single heartfelt intention, can set a different tone for the day. Even 3 peaceful minutes like this can shift your inner rhythm. It's like planting a seed of calm that gently expands throughout the rest of your day, restoring clarity and helping you move forward with a greater sense of ease. Now let's move on to habit 2, one that brings the body and soul outdoors. Happy women over 70 make it a daily practice to breathe in fresh air. They don't wait for perfect weather or a scheduled walk in the park. They embrace the outdoors with intention, even in the most ordinary moments. A few minutes sitting on the front porch, a slow walk to the mailbox, or simply leaning out an open window and letting the breeze touch their skin. This habit isn't about exercise or chasing postcard-worthy scenery. It's about reconnecting with the natural world in the simplest, most accessible ways. The rewards of this practice are both felt and scientifically supported. Fresh air and gentle sunlight offer incredible benefits. Not only do they improve physical wellness, but they also support emotional health. Research shows that natural light helps boost serotonin, the brain's feel-good chemical that stabilizes mood and encourages emotional balance. Just 15 to 20 minutes outside each day can work wonders. It sharpens mental clarity, reduces anxiety, and supports focus. Sunlight also helps the body produce vitamin D, which plays a vital role in maintaining strong bones, a healthy immune system, and cognitive sharpness, all especially important as we age. Even the simple act of breathing in fresh air increases oxygen flow to the brain, lowers blood pressure, and gives a natural lift in energy. It's like nature's quiet medicine, calming, energizing, and deeply healing. For many women, this daily habit is beautifully simple. It might look like sitting in a backyard chair, cradling a warm cup of tea, and watching birds flit from branch to branch. Others enjoy the gentle feel of morning dew beneath their feet, or take a slow, thoughtful stroll to the end of the street, soaking in the way sunlight dances through the trees, or how the scent of fresh blossoms lingers in the air. Even on days when movement feels limited or energy is low, the ritual doesn't have to disappear. Opening a window wide, inhaling a few deep, intentional breaths, and letting the breeze touch your skin can offer the same connection to nature. It's not about how far you go, it's about how present you are in the moment. This practice serves as a quiet reminder that you're part of something much larger, a living, breathing, ever-changing world. It awakens the senses, stirs the mind, and invites you into a state of presence. Isn't it amazing how something so small can make you feel so alive? Whether you're admiring the morning light or noticing the subtle shift in seasons, that awareness brings clarity and calm. And if you don't have access to a garden or park, don't let that hold you back. Step onto your balcony, stand by an open window, or feel the cool grass beneath your feet for just a moment. What matters most isn't the setting, but the commitment to stepping outside, even just a little, every day. The real power lies in consistency. Making fresh air a non-negotiable part of your routine reinforces the message: you're still here. You're still breathing. You're still part of this world. And if you've made it this far into the video and are finding these reflections meaningful, I'd love to hear from you. Just comment the number 1 below to let me know you're still here with me. Thank you for giving your time and heart to this journey. Now, Let's move into habit 3, one that keeps the mind young and the spirit alive. The happiest women over 70 share one beautiful trait, an unshakable sense of curiosity. They continue to explore, question, and learn, not because they have to, but because they genuinely want to. It's this hunger for understanding, even in the smallest things, that keeps their inner world vibrant. Lifelong learning doesn't mean returning to school or taking on complex challenges, unless that excites you, of course. It's about keeping the door open to new ideas, new perspectives, and the joy of discovery. Instead of chasing expertise or mastery, it's about keeping an open mind and nurturing that quiet sense of wonder. Whether it's reading an article on a topic you've never explored, listening to a podcast that offers a new perspective, or simply asking a grandchild to explain how their phone works, that curiosity keeps the mind sharp and the spirit fully engaged with life. Neurologists often compare the brain to a muscle, one that grows stronger the more you use it. And science backs this up. Studies consistently show that lifelong learning helps delay cognitive decline, enhances memory, and contributes to emotional well-being. When we expose our brains to new information, we create fresh neural pathways, which help keep the mind flexible and resilient. But beyond all the research, there's something deeper at play. Staying curious fosters a lasting sense of connection. It reminds us that we are still part of the world's unfolding story, still relevant, still involved, still contributing. And isn't that a powerful feeling, especially in a time of life when many people risk drifting into quiet isolation? It's about feeling awake, engaged, like you're still in conversation with the world. Imagine a woman at 72 deciding she wants to figure out YouTube, not just to laugh at cat videos, though those have their place, but to watch cooking tutorials, follow travel vlogs, or explore painting and art classes from around the globe. That simple decision to learn creates expansion. Suddenly, the world feels bigger, brighter, more accessible. Or maybe it means trying something hands-on, like picking up a new hobby, gardening, knitting, journaling, or finally diving into a topic that has always piqued your interest, such as astronomy, local folklore, or classical music. The key isn't how big the action is. It's the daily invitation to ask yourself, what's one thing I'm curious about today? Then follow that spark, wherever it leads. Maybe it takes you to a library, a conversation with a friend, or even a quick search online. That moment of seeking keeps your mind in motion and your heart open to life. This habit doesn't require fancy gadgets, online courses, or academic degrees. Sometimes, it's as simple as learning the name of a bird that perches on your windowsill, trying a new soup recipe that caught your eye, or asking a neighbor or friend to teach you a card game you've never played. Each small act of learning, no matter how modest, is a quiet declaration. I'm still growing, and that matters. Every time you pursue something new, no matter how tiny, you reinforce your sense of personal agency and pride. You're reminding yourself that the capacity for growth and discovery doesn't vanish with age. In fact, it might grow deeper. That inner spark of curiosity doesn't just preserve youthfulness. It fuels vitality. It helps you stay alert, engaged, and eager to meet the day with open eyes and an open heart. Now let's move into habit 4, one that may surprise you with its quiet power. They dress with intention. For the happiest women over 70, getting dressed is far more than a routine. It's an act of self-respect. It's a reflection of how they want to feel, grounded, confident, present. This isn't about chasing trends, dressing to impress, or conforming to outdated standards of beauty. It's about honoring their own presence in the world, on their own terms. Whether they're heading out for a brunch with friends or staying home with a good book, they choose what to wear with care. Something that feels right, whether that's cozy and soft, simple and elegant, or bright and cheerful. It's less about appearance and more about alignment. Psychologists even have a name for it: enclothed cognition. The idea that what we wear actually influences how we think and feel. Research shows that the clothes we put on can shift our mood, boost our posture, and even improve self-esteem. Think about it. Have you ever put on a soft, colorful sweater or your favorite scarf and instantly felt more awake, more you? What we wear sends signals, not just to others, but to ourselves. It tells the brain, I matter today. It doesn't have to be dramatic. A pair of pearl earrings on a quiet Sunday morning, worn while watching a church service online, can be a small but meaningful ritual. It's a way of saying, this day is special, and so am I. This habit isn't rooted in vanity. It's grounded in self-care. It begins with a simple question. How do I want to feel today? And then choosing clothing that reflects that feeling. On a day when energy is low and comfort is needed, it might mean slipping into a soft cardigan that feels like a warm embrace. On a more energized day, maybe it's a bright blouse, a favorite pair of earrings, or a bold color that brings out a sense of joy and confidence. Dressing with intention is a gentle but powerful act. It reaffirms a sense of agency, reminding you that you still have a say in how you move through the day. Even if there's no special event, even if no one else sees you, it becomes a quiet celebration of self. And you don't need a wardrobe full of designer labels to embrace this. It's not about fashion trends or spending money. Start with what you already own. Choose the pieces that make you feel like you. Maybe it's a soft cotton dress that breathes well, a favorite pair of slacks that feels just right, or even a single colorful scarf that lifts your spirits when you catch a glimpse in the mirror. This small act of self-expression doesn't just affect how you look. It affects how you carry yourself, how you walk into a room, how you speak to others, and how you show up in the world with quiet strength and pride. Now let's move on to habit 5, one that transforms not just how these women think, but how they live. They limit complaining and focus on gratitude. Among the most powerful habits practiced by the happiest women over 70 is this. They've learned to shift their attention away from constant complaints and toward daily gratitude. Not because their lives are free from struggle, far from it. Like anyone else, they experience aches, grief, frustration, and loss. Especially in later years, challenges often come in many forms. But here's the difference. They've discovered that complaining amplifies negativity, while gratitude offers perspective and strength. It's not about pretending that everything is okay. It's about choosing how to respond when things aren't. This habit takes time. It requires self-awareness and a commitment to noticing where your energy goes. Do you dwell on the stiff joint, the disappointing headline, the gray sky? Or do you consciously shift your focus to the good? Maybe it's the friendly neighbor who checks in, the warmth of soup on a chilly day, or simply the quiet blessing of waking up to live another morning. These small moments, when noticed and appreciated, build a habit of joy, one that doesn't deny reality, but meets it with resilience. Research in positive psychology strongly supports this mindset. Studies show that cultivating gratitude can lower stress, improve sleep quality, and even enhance physical health by reducing inflammation and boosting the immune system. These are not just feel-good results. They're measurable benefits that come from simply shifting where we place our attention. Instead of beginning the day with a mental list of frustrations, a woman might pause to reflect on 3 small things she's grateful for: the comforting aroma of fresh coffee, a warm phone call from a loved one, or the golden light of morning pouring across her living room floor. These aren't grand events, but they carry meaning, and that meaning changes everything. This shift in perspective doesn't erase life's challenges. It doesn't pretend the hard parts aren't there, but it reframes them, making them feel less overwhelming, more manageable. And over time, this daily practice becomes a quiet, enduring strength, a steady anchor in the ebb and flow of life. To begin building this habit, Start small. At the end of your day, jot down 1 or 2 things that brought you joy or made you feel thankful. It might take only a minute, but its impact can last long after the pen is set down. Instead of venting frustrations to a friend, try sharing one uplifting moment or observation. Over time, these small shifts reshape how we see the world. Gratitude becomes a lens, one that helps us find glimmers of light, even on gray and uncertain days. These 5 habits, starting the day with a mindful ritual, getting fresh air, staying curious, dressing with intention, and limiting complaints, may seem small on their own. But together, they form a powerful foundation. Each one is a deliberate choice, and together, they weave a life filled with joy, resilience, and purpose. They remind us that happiness, especially as we age, isn't something that happens by chance. It's something we build, choice by choice, moment by moment. Aging is a journey none of us can avoid. It brings with it inevitable changes, shifting health, the weight of loss, and days that feel a little slower, a little heavier. But here's the truth. The difference between those who age with grace and joy and those who slip into bitterness or regret isn't found in the events themselves. It lies in how they respond, in what they choose to focus on, in how they choose to live. The happiest women over 70 have learned to live with intention. They nurture their bodies, they challenge their minds, they protect their spirits. They've made peace with what they cannot control, and empowered themselves by taking charge of what they can. These habits aren't lofty ideals or dramatic lifestyle overhauls. They're small, intentional choices made consistently, gently woven into the everyday rhythm of life. They're not meant to impress others or check a box. They're meant to anchor and uplift. And over time, these simple actions build a foundation of strength and joy that shapes how we age. Let's take a deeper look at these habits, starting with one that can truly shift the emotional tone of your days, letting go of constant complaining. It's surprisingly easy to fall into patterns of negativity as we grow older. I remember a season of life when nearly every conversation I started became a rundown of aches, frustrations, and discouraging news. My knees hurt. The weather was gloomy. The world felt chaotic. Without realizing it, my voice had turned into a running list of everything that was going wrong. Then one day, a close friend gently said something that stopped me in my tracks. "I miss hearing about your garden." Her words struck a nerve. I hadn't realized how much space I'd given to complaints, how they had taken over my conversations, my thoughts, and even my sense of joy. That beautiful part of my life, the garden I once loved sharing stories about, had been pushed aside by a mindset I didn't even know I was nurturing. Psychologists have a name for this tendency: negativity bias. It's our brain's natural inclination to pay more attention to what's wrong than what's right, a survival instinct rooted deep in our evolutionary past. But here's the good news. We're not prisoners to that wiring. We can retrain our minds. We can consciously learn to spot the good, even on the hardest days. This doesn't mean we ignore pain or pretend everything's fine. Instead, it's about choosing not to let complaints dominate our energy, especially when venting does nothing to solve the problem. The practice is both simple and profound. When you catch yourself about to complain, about the stiffness in your joints, the slow morning, the headlines, pause. Ask yourself gently, is this helping me heal, or is it keeping me stuck? Then try to shift your focus, even slightly. Talk about the cardinal you noticed flitting by the feeder. Mention the neighbor who offered you a kind wave. Share a memory that still brings a smile. These small moments, once acknowledged, have the power to transform the tone of your entire day. And over time, this gentle redirection becomes a habit. The volume of complaints begins to fade. And what's left is something softer, something sweeter. The quieter music of life that often goes unheard when the noise is too loud. As you begin to shift your focus from complaints to gratitude, something beautiful happens. Your heart feels lighter, and the world seems just a little brighter. If you're still watching this video and finding these reflections meaningful, I'd love to hear from you. Comment the number 2 below to let me know you're still here with me on this journey. Thank you for spending your time with me. It truly matters. Now let's continue with habit 6, one that honors the body as much as it does the spirit. They move their body daily. The happiest women over 70 aren't chasing the bodies they had decades ago. They're not trying to match the stamina of their 20s or keep up with a fitness trend. Instead, they've embraced something deeper and far more sustainable: movement as medicine. They choose to move not out of vanity, but out of gratitude, out of respect for the body that has carried them through the many chapters of life. They've learned that consistent movement is a way of saying thank you. And this movement doesn't require expensive memberships or high-tech gear. Sometimes it's a peaceful walk around the block. Other times, it's 10 quiet minutes of stretching or swaying gently to a favorite old song while stirring the morning oatmeal. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it consistently. Science supports this wisdom. Research shows that regular physical activity helps reduce joint pain, enhances balance and coordination, strengthens the heart, and supports brain health, especially memory. In fact, a 2020 study published in The Lancet revealed that older adults who engaged in consistent, moderate movement experienced a significantly lower risk of chronic illness and reported higher levels of life satisfaction. But the benefits go far beyond the physical. Moving your body daily also helps protect your mental health, lift your mood, and reinforce a sense of independence, something deeply important as we age. I'll be honest, there are mornings when I wake up feeling stiff and tempted to skip it all. The bed is warm, the body sluggish, and my mind offers a dozen excuses. But then I pause. I remind myself, this body has carried me through decades of life, love, change, and resilience. The least I can do is care for it. So I stretch, gently, slowly, letting each muscle ease into motion. I walk, tuning into the rhythm of my breath, to the sound of my steps. And without fail, every single time, I feel better afterward. More alive, more grounded, more present in my own skin. You don't have to aim for perfection. You just have to show up for yourself, for your health, and for the life you still have to live. Start right where you are. You don't need a gym. You don't need a schedule. You just need a little movement and a little willingness. Walk to the mailbox and back. Circle your arms gently while watching your favorite TV show. If your mobility is limited, try chair exercises. Even the smallest motion matters. Just 10 minutes of movement a day is a gift to your future self. It's a quiet, powerful way of saying, thank you for showing up. Because when your body feels alive, even in small ways, your spirit often follows. Let's move now to habit 7, one that nurtures the emotional heart of aging well. They connect with others daily. As the years pass, a quiet kind of loneliness can begin to settle in. It doesn't always come loudly. Sometimes it creeps in gently, a sense of being overlooked or disconnected. But the happiest women over 70 have learned how to keep that feeling at bay. They protect themselves from isolation by making connection a daily priority. They don't wait for holidays or big events. They don't need to throw parties or be the center of attention. Instead, they create tiny moments of presence with other people. Simple, real, and nourishing. Sometimes that connection looks like saying good morning to the mail carrier. Other times, it's sending a short text to a sibling, calling a friend for 5 minutes, or sharing a smile with a stranger in the grocery aisle. These interactions might seem small, but they have an incredible emotional weight. In fact, a 2018 study from the National Institute on Aging found that loneliness in older adults is closely linked to serious health issues, including heart disease, depression, and even cognitive decline. But the remedy to loneliness isn't always found in grand gestures. More often, it's found in the gentle, steady presence of someone else, in the comfort of knowing that someone, somewhere, is thinking of you, and that you're thinking of them too. For me, it's a daily voice note to my friend Martha. Just a minute or two. Some days it's a silly story from the kitchen. Other days, a quiet prayer or word of encouragement. It's not about the message. It's about the ritual. It reminds me that I am not alone, and neither is she. You don't need to be naturally outgoing to create this kind of connection. Start small. Pick up the phone and call someone just to say hello. Join a local book club, a walking group, or a coffee morning at the community center. Or write a handwritten letter. Yes, the old-fashioned kind, with a stamp and an envelope. Every time you reach out, no matter how softly, you stretch the boundaries of your world. And with each connection, your spirit feels just a little more full, a little more seen, and a little more alive. Let's move into habit 8, one that offers a quiet kind of power. They embrace solitude with grace. While human connection is essential, the happiest women over 70 have also learned to honor and cherish time spent alone. For them, solitude isn't something to fear or avoid. It's not isolation. It's a sacred space, a gentle opportunity for self-reflection, restoration, and reconnection with the self. They've discovered that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. In fact, it's often in those quiet moments, away from the noise of the world, that we truly hear our own voice. Solitude, when chosen with intention, becomes a wellspring of inner strength. It might look like setting aside a few minutes each morning to sit quietly with a warm cup of tea, to journal thoughts without judgment, or simply to gaze out the window and watch the light shift across the sky. For some women, solitude means prayer or meditation. For others, it's getting lost in a soul-stirring book, tending to a beloved plant, or quietly working on a creative project. These moments may seem small, but they carry deep emotional weight. Why does solitude matter so much? Because it grounds us. It helps us process life's changes. It reminds us of who we are beneath the roles we play. I've personally found that sitting quietly with my thoughts before the day begins brings me a kind of calm I can't find anywhere else. It's a moment of clarity before the world starts asking for my attention. If solitude feels intimidating at first, try easing into it. Begin with just 5 minutes of stillness. Let soft music play in the background or open a window and listen to the sounds of nature. With time, you'll find that this quiet space becomes a sanctuary, a place where peace returns and clarity begins. If you're still watching this video and these reflections have been meaningful for you, comment the number 3 below to let me know you're still here. Thank you again for sharing your time with me. Now let's explore habit 9, a deeply personal yet practical choice. They eat with intention. One of the most powerful yet often overlooked habits of happy women over 70 is how they relate to food. For them, eating isn't rushed, distracted, or treated as a mindless task. It's an act of nourishment, for the body and for the soul. They don't see meals as chores or count every calorie. Instead, they slow down, savor each bite, and listen to what their body truly needs. This isn't about rigid diets, and it's certainly not about deprivation. It's about awareness, choosing foods that support energy, health, and well-being, and eating them with presence. As we age, our bodies change. Metabolism slows, digestion can become more sensitive, and nutritional needs shift. The happiest women adjust with grace. They prioritize foods that help them feel vibrant and strong. Colorful vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains that fuel sustained energy. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that nutrient-dense diets among older adults significantly support bone strength, cognitive clarity, and digestive health. But what's just as important as what they eat is how they eat. Mindful eating, free from distractions like television or phones, not only improves digestion, but also reduces overeating and turns meals into moments of joy. I used to eat hurriedly, barely tasting anything, my mind already racing toward the next task. But over time, I learned to slow down, to really experience the food in front of me. And something changed. Meals became grounding. They became a form of self-respect. Now, I take my time. I sit down, breathe in the aroma rising from the plate, and savor each bite as if it matters. Because it does. What once felt routine now feels like a small daily ritual, a quiet way of honoring the body that has carried me through decades of life. You don't need to overhaul your diet overnight or follow strict meal plans. Just start with one gentle shift. Drink a glass of water before your meal. Add a vibrant vegetable to your plate. Pause between bites to truly taste and enjoy your food. Not just with your mouth, but with all your senses. These small intentional choices do more than nourish your body. They create ripples, strengthening your awareness, grounding your energy, and helping you feel more connected to yourself with every meal. Let's move now to habit 10, one that reaches beyond the physical and into the heart of what sustains us. They nourish their spirit. True happiness after 70 isn't just about staying physically healthy. It's also about tending to the inner life, the quiet, unseen space where purpose, peace, and meaning reside. The happiest women understand this. Every day they make time to care for their spirit just as intentionally as they care for their bodies. For some, this spiritual nourishment comes through prayer or meditation, a few minutes of stillness to feel centered and connected. For others, it's found in nature, in the pages of an inspiring book, or in the joy of creative expression, whether that's painting, writing, singing, or gardening. It's not about religion or ritual. It's about doing what makes your heart feel rooted and alive. And the science backs this up. A 2019 study published in Social Science and Medicine found that older adults with a strong sense of purpose or spiritual connection are more resilient in the face of stress and report significantly higher levels of overall well-being. But nourishing the spirit doesn't require dramatic change. Sometimes, it's as simple as listening to music that lifts your mood, journaling your thoughts and feelings, sitting outside with a warm drink, letting the breeze touch your face. These are quiet acts, but they carry deep emotional weight. For me, it's my morning meditation, a short, peaceful pause before the day truly begins. Just me, my breath, and a warm cup of tea. It centers me. It reminds me to be present. And even on heavy days, it helps me feel gratitude for simply being here. When life feels overwhelming, that ritual becomes my anchor. So find one small practice that feeds your spirit every day. It doesn't need to be dramatic or long. It just needs to be true to you. And remember, it's not selfish to care for your spirit. It's essential. Because when your inner life is nurtured, your outer life begins to glow. Joy comes more easily. Even the hardest moments feel a little softer, a little lighter. Now let's explore habit 11, one that may not be loud or visible but holds the power to transform your entire outlook. They practice forgiveness daily. The happiest women over 70 have learned a powerful truth. Holding on to grudges, bitterness, or resentment only weighs you down. And with time so precious, why carry what no longer serves you? They choose forgiveness, not to dismiss the pain, excuse what happened, or rewrite the past, but to free themselves from the emotional weight that anger brings. Each day, they make a conscious decision to release what they can't control, not because it's easy, but because peace matters more. They understand that holding on to resentment doesn't hurt the person who caused the harm. It hurts the one who carries it. And so, with grace and courage, they let go. Not all at once, but moment by moment. Psychologists have long confirmed what ancient wisdom has taught for generations. Forgiveness reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and improves overall mental health. A 2020 study published in Psychology and Aging found that older adults who actively practice forgiveness experience lower levels of anxiety and depression. The impact is real and lasting. Forgiveness is a radical act of self-love. It's choosing to prioritize your peace over your pain. I remember a time when I held onto a wound from a long-past disagreement. It festered quietly beneath the surface, coloring my mood and stealing my energy. Until one day, I realized the person I was hurting most was me. That's when I began a simple morning ritual, just a quiet whisper to myself, I forgive you, and I forgive them. It didn't make the memory disappear, but it changed the way I carried it. It softened the sharp edges. It gave me room to breathe again. Forgiveness isn't a single event. It's a process, a journey. Start with something small. Maybe it's forgiving yourself for a decision you regret, or letting go of a comment that stung. Even the smallest shift in your heart is a step forward. Because when you lighten your emotional load, you make space, beautiful, spacious room for joy to return. That leads us into habit 12, one that may sound simple but is deeply powerful. They laugh on purpose. Laughter isn't just something they wait for. The happiest women over 70 know that joy can be cultivated, and they make space for laughter each day on purpose. They know that laughter lifts the spirit, eases tension, and restores perspective. Whether it's watching a beloved comedy, sharing a funny memory with a friend, or letting themselves be silly and playful for a moment, they choose to seek out joy instead of waiting for it to arrive. Science backs this up. A 2016 study published in Frontiers in Immunology found that laughter releases endorphins, lowers stress hormones, relaxes muscles, and even strengthens the immune system. Isn't it remarkable? Something as simple as a hearty laugh can heal you, body and soul. Best of all, laughter costs nothing, and it's always within reach. I've found that during heavy seasons of life, a genuine laugh can feel like a deep breath of fresh air. Sometimes I'll pick up the phone and call a friend to reminisce over a funny moment we once shared. Other times I'll watch a lighthearted video just to feel that spark of silliness again. Those little moments remind me that not everything has to be so serious. You don't have to be a natural comedian to bring more laughter into your life. In fact, it often begins with the simplest things. Revisit a comedy movie that once made you laugh until your cheeks hurt. Flip through a humorous book that lifts your mood. Or spend time with someone whose presence brings a smile to your face. Let yourself lean into the lightness. Dance in your kitchen. Make goofy faces in the mirror, or play with a pet like you're a kid again. These small acts may seem playful, even a little silly, but they carry weight. Laughter fills the heart, loosens the tension in your chest, and reminds you that joy doesn't have to be far away. Sometimes it's just one chuckle, or one shared joke, away. Now let's talk about habit 13. One that fills life with purpose and connection. They give back with generosity. The happiest women over 70 have discovered a quiet truth. Joy expands when it's shared. They find meaning and fulfillment in giving, whether through small, kind gestures or ongoing acts of service within their community. Their giving doesn't need to be grand. It's about being present, offering what they have, and caring in ways that matter. Some volunteer their time. Others share their life wisdom with a younger person. Many simply lend a listening ear to someone who needs to be heard. Generosity doesn't require wealth or elaborate plans. It simply asks for heart. A 2017 study published in The Gerontologist found that older adults who regularly engage in altruistic behavior report significantly higher life satisfaction and lower levels of depression. Giving back not only helps others, it reaffirms your own sense of purpose and belonging. It reminds you that your presence, your voice, your care still matter. For me, It can be as simple as dropping off homemade cookies to a neighbor, or checking in on someone I know is going through a tough time. These little moments carry weight. They fill my day with meaning, warmth, and connection. You can start with just one small gesture. Compliment someone. Share a skill or life lesson. Write a kind note. Donate to a cause you believe in, even if it's just a few dollars. When you give from the heart, something beautiful happens. Joy circles back to you, creating a ripple effect of compassion and fulfillment. And now, we arrive at habit 14, a quiet yet transformative practice. They end their day with gratitude. The final habit of happy women over 70 is both beautifully simple and deeply powerful. They end their day with gratitude. Before drifting off to sleep, they take a quiet moment to reflect on what went well that day. It might be a kind word exchanged with a neighbor, the warmth of a home-cooked meal, or even the soothing sound of rain tapping against the window pane. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about choosing to focus, even briefly, on the good that still exists, no matter how small. Research published in the Journal of Positive Psychology in 2019 found that regular gratitude practice can significantly improve sleep, lower anxiety levels, and boost long-term happiness. Why? Because gratitude gently retrains the brain to notice and hold on to the positive, creating a sense of peace and emotional resilience over time. Each evening, I take just a few moments to write down 3 things I'm thankful for. Sometimes it's something as simple as a stranger's smile, a check-in call from a friend, or the familiar comfort of my bed. This nightly ritual helps me release the stress of the day and settle into rest with a lighter, more peaceful heart. You don't need a fancy journal or a list a mile long. Just pause. Reflect on one good thing from your day, something that made you smile or reminded you that life still holds beauty. Let that memory settle into your heart before you sleep. It's a small habit, just a quiet moment. But over time, it has the power to transform not only your nights, but your entire outlook on life. What a journey we've shared today, exploring the 12 daily habits that help women over 70 live with joy, grace, and a deep sense of purpose. These practices aren't complicated or out of reach. They're simply intentional choices, made day by day, that shape a life well lived. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one habit or lesson from this video that resonated with you most? Was it starting your morning with mindfulness, choosing forgiveness over resentment, or maybe just finding time for laughter again? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, not only for yourself, but because your story might just inspire someone else watching. And if this video spoke to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint, where we bring you thoughtful, practical content to help you live a fuller, more joyful life. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Wishing you good health, happiness, and peace always. And until next time, take care and stay well.